21st, 2020 calls council meeting to order and asks the clerk to call the roll.
Dr. Lee.
Here.
Miss Walden. Miss Shinholster.
Here.
Mr. Reynolds.
Here.
Mr. Mullins. Mr. Chambers.
Here.
All right, we do have a quorum present today. We've spoken with Ms. Walden and Mr. Mullins, and we know why they're not here today. So we're going to just jump right into this. The purpose of this council meeting is to consider adopting ordinance O-2008-04, declaring a second state of emergency due to the continued and rapid spreading of the coronavirus throughout Milledgeville and the state of Georgia, and also as a result of the pandemic for putting in place provisions requiring the wearing of face coverings in public places during the pandemic. You have all received a copy of the draft ordinance, and we did not have a chance to discuss in the provisions of the ordinance at our August 18 call work session. This is the first reading of the ordinance. If we wish to adopt this afternoon, we need to suspend the rules to allow adoption on the first reading. Is there a motion to suspend the rules so that we can adopt the ordinance on its first reading?
So moved. Second.
I'll ask the clerk to call the roll, please, on the suspension of the rule.
Dr. Lee.
Aye.
Miss Shinholster.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Okay. Is there a motion to adopt ordinance 0-2004, declaring a state of emergency in Milledgeville and requiring the use of face covering while in publicly accessible places?
So moved. Second.
Is there any discussion?
Mayor, I just want to mention that the only thing different in the ordinance that's being voted on today than the one handed out to you all on Tuesday night was, if you remember the one on Tuesday night, there were some blanks in there based on some data elements that we needed to include closer to time when it was voted on. Those data elements were filled in, and the data as of the DPH report on yesterday, August 20th, were used.
Okay. So, can I get a motion to adopt the ordinance? Or did we do that?
We have a motion and a second.
Okay. And you call the roll, Mr. Januza, correct?
Dr. Lee.
Aye.
Miss Shinholster.
Aye.
Mr. Reynolds.
Aye.
Mr. Chambers.
Aye.
Right. This concludes the items on the agenda. Is there any other business before a motion to adjourn? Okay, I would like to quickly say thank you and for this mayor and the city council thinking enough to want to take care of our community and to make sure that everybody is safe, and that's what we're trying to do, and we hope the community appreciate the fact that that's all we're trying to do is to keep everybody safe throughout this pandemic. So if there's no other questions.
Mayor, if I may, I want to ask one question, and that is of our city manager, and that who is going to be at the front of asking or answering questions from the general public, from businesses, so on and so forth, because I think there probably is going to be some questions.
Are you asking me or?
King Hank.
Okay.
Okay, what's that, Councilman? I'm sorry, I was reading. I may not have heard what you said completely. I thought you said you had questions for me. Did I misunderstand that?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Would you like me to state that question again?
Sure, please. I'm man enough to say when I wasn't paying attention, and I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
We understand. We're just having a meeting here, so don't worry about that. And if you get a chance, join in.
I'm fully engaged now, Mr. Chambers. How can I help you?
I just want to know, or would like for general information for the public as to questions that arise from this ordinance, and where will they be answered? I'm assuming they can call City Hall, but is there going to be somebody that can address these, or is this going to be on Facebook, or are you going to have some interaction on Facebook, on the website? What?
We will post the ordinance on all of our internet sites, the website, on Facebook, so members of the community can read the ordinance. Anyone that answers the phone in terms of City Hall proper will be able to answer the questions that they get based on the fact that they have knowledge and information from the ordinance. Chief Swikert and I have actually already discussed the ordinance in anticipation that it would be passed today. And he is aware of it. I will ask him to make sure that those folks answering the telephone at the police department can answer those questions. But obviously, if folks cannot get the answer to their question not the answer that they're looking for, but can't get the question answered, then obviously they can call the city manager's office directly, and I will get back in contact with them if I can't take their call at that point in time.
Mr. Griffin, will you kind of give all of us some kind of guideline that you want us to be able to respond and be in unison with what we're saying to the community? Can you do that, or whatever information you're going to give whoever the calls are routed to?
Well, I think probably the thing for me to do, if you all want me to, is I can take the ordinance and try to quickly do an FAQ from it and make sure everybody in the city gets a copy of that. The FAQ will come straight from the ordinance, so there will not be anything in there that you all don't know about. And that would be the best way to do it. That way, anyone answering the phone that are asked questions will answer in the same way. So what I'll do is, once I put the FAQ together quickly this afternoon, I will forward that to you all via email, as well as to the executive staff of the city of Milledgeville, and then ask the executive staff to share it with their staff. So that way the information should be disseminated out, and it should be the same information across the board.
Because remember, this ordinance by its terms goes into effect in the tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right. What?
Okay.
Was there an end date?
There is not an end date. It is in.
I didn't remember seeing one. But
Yeah.
Well, it's not an end date because it's actually controlled. The enforcement of the ordinance is controlled by the number of cases.
Correct.
That we have that bar that the governor set for us being able to enforce such an ordinance.
Right. So if we drop down below that, should we drop down, then we feel it in a safe zone, and then have the possibility of being able to back off of it.
The governor has set the threshold to be 100 cases per 100,000 people, as reported by the Department of Public Health, and we are a long way from that. So
I would think most are.
I think every county in Georgia is, quite frankly, with the exception of maybe two, I think, way down in South Georgia. So
where I'm headed tomorrow.
Basically, what it says, Mr. Chambers, is in the section 2 of the ordinance that it remains in effect until it is rescinded, superseded, or amended by ordinance of the mayor and alderman. So.
That's right.
Okay.
Are there any other questions? All right. If not, then I'll adjourn the meeting. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you all for joining in.
Thank you.